Hello, Metrolina Builder Leaders. This is Dr. Gary making good bosses into great leaders with compassionate accountability. Well, we just met last week and we're only 2 weeks away from our next training session. So we need to be quick about this, right? So I sent you an email last week just to make sure that we know what the expectations are for stories that we will share on July 10th when we get back together. So those stories should have something to do with coaching, something to do with setting clear expectations, and listening. So coaching, asking questions rather than giving answers. Can you focus on just asking a few questions and help people solve their own problems? Maybe something as simple as, what did you do last time and will it work this time? Well, if it does, maybe they just need that rubber stamp that says, okay, go do it. And that gives them the confidence to go ahead and execute. Eventually, they'll stop asking and they'll just do the things that they already know how to do. So let's start asking questions first and only give answers when absolutely necessary to help others feel good about the problems that they solve on their own. Setting expectations is not always easy, and we talked some about that last week, but not just goals and key performance indicators, but behaviors, things like safety and how we talk to each other, how we behave, and are we following the values of the organization. So setting clear expectations and working through that all the time is really, really important. So maybe we need to define what a good job is. Let's go out there and do a great job today, folks. What does that mean? What's the productivity level? What's the quality? What's the safety? What's the schedule? How many people are supposed to be doing that? Getting very specific and asking questions about what people see as good work or great work might be a way to combine setting expectations and coaching. And finally, listening. It looks something like this. So for 5 seconds, silence, just listen. You don't need to do anything. We often think that we have to jump in and be the superstar and do something, especially in our personal relationships. Just listen. Don't offer any advice. Be silent. Well, if we work on those 3 things over the next couple of weeks, then you'll have a couple of stories to share with us on July 10th. And finally, we're going to be learning more about the personality styles of Myers-Briggs. You took those tests a few months ago, and included in this are your profiles. We'll have some other information to offer to you, but we will go detail into what's the difference between an introvert and an extrovert. What does being intuitive versus sensing mean? What kind of a person do I show up as when I'm a thinker versus a feeler? And what exactly does judgment and perception mean as it relates to personality? Well, we're going to learn a lot about that in a couple of weeks, and then how it applies to the way we communicate, how it connects some of the dots when we talk about being action, process, people, and idea-oriented, and then what do these similarities and differences do to help us or hinder us in our communication. So we're going to learn a lot about that in a couple of weeks. So looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Let's stay on it. Work on your expectations, your coaching, and your listening, and we will look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. This is Dr. Gary making good bosses into great leaders with compassionate accountability.